Hello there, welcome, good morning. My name is Babajide Guerrero. This is HotSports, and it's going to be very, very interesting as usual. My gentlemen are already in the studios, making a return to the show, of course, is Israel Bankole. Israel, how are you, man?
Good morning.
Good morning. How you doing, man? You look very dapper. I like this, actually.
Thank you very much.
How did your week go?
It was fine.
Okay, not bad. All right, so that's Israel Bankole, and of course, returning to the show after a bit of, should I say injury, or probably he just took a while off the show. Hey, Igbinige, how are you?
I'm fine.
You look fresh, well rested, no problems.
It's peace of mind. Good morning to our viewers. It's good to be back on the show, man.
Yes,
it was nice. I missed it. So
yes, indeed.
It's good to be back.
We also missed you. I'm sure the viewers missed you as well. But let's get right into it. We'll go for a quick break, and this time, our own Ufoma Osusu had a sit down with the first ever and still the only individual gold medalist at the Olympics. You want to call her an Olympic legend, Chioma Ajunwa Okpara, who also happened to be the Assistant Commissioner of Police. We had a sit-down with her, and this is what they discussed.
London 2012 was a very sad news for keen watchers of sports at the Olympics that Nigeria didn't come back with a single medal. Are we likely to face that kind of situation?
Well, I don't want to predict. I don't want to predict anything. But they said, by their fruit we shall know them. If they think they prepared well, so be it. But if it will be a very big shame if what happened during London 2012, if it should repeat itself again. Because when they came back, everybody was saying, we need to start preparation now. And if they failed to prepare that time, it means they were preparing to fail. It's a pity that we Nigerians, we so love sports. And that is why people are still talking about it. Personally, I would have said everybody should forget about it. Let them do it the way they think they can do it best. It's a shame that every year we'll be shouting, oh, they didn't do well, athlete didn't do well. If you prepare the athlete, definitely they will do well. But if you didn't prepare them, if you leave an athlete that is going to compete in the Olympic Games to prepare himself or herself, definitely don't even think about medal, because it's not possible that an athlete should go and train alone and be able to face the people that have been preparing physically, spiritually, materially and otherwise. Are you getting me? Because Olympic preparation needs a lot of things. These athletes need to expose, they need to be exposed, they need to go out to do a kind of training, they need to do certain things, they need to train with modern, equipment and facilities. And since we don't have it here, well, I think we should go out to expose the athletes. And if you don't want to, after all, Jamaicans never, they are not going to anywhere to go and train. They are in their country. And the country makes sure that all the things needed, they're on ground. That is where you see serious people. After Sydney, Chinese sworn that the next Olympic that they are going to host, that they must win. And definitely, immediately they ended that Olympics. They went back home, recruited younger athletes, both gymnastics, and you saw what happens in Beijing. They won. So many people will go home and they went back to the drawing board, they start training. But our own will come once it's getting closer and closer. Okay, look at what is going on. You see, it doesn't matter how much, how long you talk about it. The people up there, if they want to do good thing, they can do it. But if they don't want to do, no matter how long people talk, nothing will come out of it. So it's better. Personally, I like to keep to myself, because all the advices so many people have been given, they don't adhere to it. So
You're welcome back to the show. Of course, that was Ufoma Osusu with Chioma Joanpara, who also is an instructor at the Nigerian Police Training School and the first African to win an Olympic gold medal in a field event. That's quite interesting right there.
Mauricio Sarri says the choice to not start Chelsea goalkeeper Kepa Arrizabalaga for Wednesday's match against Tottenham was a message to the group. The Spanish star has come under fire for refusing to be substituted in Sunday's Carabao Cup final defeat to Manchester City. With the match itching towards a penalty shootout, Sarri was set to turn to Willy Caballero, who had featured for City from 2014 to 2017. But Kepa waved his manager off, electing to remain on the pitch before City edged Chelsea 4-3 on penalty kicks. And now, Kepa has been excluded from the club's first match since the incident with Sarri, saying it was his decision to start Caballero in his stead against Spurs. Kepa had started all 26 of Chelsea's Premier League matches this season, as well as 4 Carabao Cup games and 6 Europa League ties. The goalkeeper arrived from Athletic Club last summer for a record fee, replacing Thibaut Courtois as the Belgian moved to Real Madrid. Liverpool star Mohamed Salah is missing from the Egypt squad to face the Super Eagles of Nigeria in an international friendly at the Stephen Keshi Stadium in Asaba, Delta State on March 26th. The 26-year-old superstar was not included in the 25-man list released by head coach Javier Aguirre. Salah has been a talisman for Liverpool as they battle to win the Premier League for the first time in 30 years, scoring 20 goals and providing 8 assists in all competitions for the team this season. The Pharaohs have already qualified for the 2019 African Cup of Nations, which they will host later in the summer. They will face the Niger Republic in the final qualifier before traveling to face the Super Eagles of Nigeria in an international friendly. Under Aguirre, who was appointed in August last year, Egypt have secured 4 straight wins, scoring 15 goals and conceding only 4. Getting ready for the Nations Cup, the 7-time African champions are playing a friendly against Nigeria as they eye a record-extending 8th title when the country hosts the African Nations Cup in June this year. The Flying Eagles of Nigeria will put up their training camp in Germany ahead of the FIFA 2019 Under-20 World Cup in Poland. Prior to the 2015 Under-20 World Cup in New Zealand, the Flying Eagles pitched their tent in Nuremberg, a city in the Germany's federal state of Bavaria. Former coach Manu Garba was reported to have chosen Germany as the Eagles' training camp, considering the similarity of the weather with that of New Zealand. Earlier in the week, coach Paul Aibogun's men were pitted in Group D alongside Qatar, USA, and Ukraine ahead of the competition in Poland. Nigeria will open their 12th campaign at the quadrennial contest against Qatar on May 24th.
Let's heighten a level of fun now, shall we? Let's go to the boxing ring where I got my man Bolatis Oyinei on standby. Stick around.
Let's go international. Anthony Joshua is world boxing champion. He will be fighting this year, no doubt. How long do you think he can last as world boxing champion?
Well, I wouldn't know, but if I am Anthony Joshua's manager, there are some fights we cannot take for now. Because if it's fighting, you have to pick your boxers from 1 to 10. Pick the one you think will not give your boxer any problem. But if you keep taking tough opponents, I don't think he will go far. He might stay another 2 years That'll be maybe 2 more years.
How does it make you feel as a professional boxer finally?
Well, nothing. What do we have to show? Representing the country, boxing as amateur, boxing as a professional. Sometimes they will stay 14 months, they will not pay my salary. So it doesn't make me feel any better. This country is, I don't know. I've represented this nation. I will say 13 months, 14 months, 16 months, no salary. I'll go to Abuja. Every month I go to Abuja for my salary. The last time they said they misplaced my file. So one of the directors said, do a temporary file for him. Don't make it come from Lagos to Abuja every month. But sometimes they don't listen. You have to make noise. They don't listen. Nigeria sports officials, they don't listen. Listen to the voice of sportsmen and the voice of the people. I help to move the sports forward. They don't listen.
We're now in the boxing ring. Inside boxing, of course, is what I mean. Of course, I've got my man, Abola Tito Yenai, who happens to be my boxing expert in the studio. How you doing, my brother?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Yeah, not bad. Not bad. I mean, it's good to see you again. But hey, you off camera, you were telling me you had little or nothing to do this weekend. But how about this? I mean, last weekend, I beg your pardon. But this particular weekend, you have your hands full with some juicy, interesting boxing bouts. First off, Baby Miller and AJ, Anthony Joshua, at the press conference recently, and it didn't go down well entirely. At some point, Baby Miller actually pushed Anthony Joshua and then saying the N-word, and then Joshua lost his cool a bit. And this is a feel, professionally, this is what we've seen in the modern day boxing, the ability to sell fights. I think this is what this is, right? Yeah,
I mean, you say that this didn't go well, but I think it went very well because now, you know, they're getting a lot of the...
when I mean didn't go well, I'm sure the questions, they will expect them to sit down, shake hands,
but then, you know, when it comes... Exactly, and then take each other out to dinner. But you know, coming from a fan's perspective, no one, or especially casual fans, no one really wants to see that. People want to see drama. That's the kind of fight people want to see. People want to believe that these guys actually do not like each other, because imagine if Miller was like, they shook hands and then they hugged and they were very respectful.
You know,
I mean,
I looked up to you.
Yeah, it's the sportsman-like thing to do, but then sometimes to really sell a fight for the fans, you have to sometimes put that aside. And sometimes, who knows, like, this might not be Miller trying to sell the fight. I believe that this Miller is trying to play mind games, because at a certain point, Miller mentioned Anthony Joshua's mom. Okay. You see, you know, that's getting into very personal territory. I think that, you know, off camera as well, I was saying to you that as the reason these guys are professionals, street fights, when, you know, on YouTube, when they're street fights last for like 1 minute and then that's the end.
Maximum 2 minutes.
Yeah, maximum 2 minutes. And these guys are professionals that can fight 36 minutes and no one gets knocked out. You know what I mean? So I feel like, and like we said, a lot of people compare boxing to chess, but they call it high-speed chess. I think that what Miller is trying to do is trying to get Joshua out of his mindset, because when you're in the ring, you have to think. Boxers have to think about what they're doing. They have to react to what their opponent is doing. It's very tactical and it requires a lot of intellect. So I think what Miller is trying to do is to get Joshua out of that mindset. So he's trying to get Joshua riled up. So when fight night comes, Joshua is not...
He's not concentrating on the fight.
He's trying to get his hands on Miller. So I think that's what Miller might be trying to do, to get inside Joshua's head.
And we also saw at some point, maybe before this press conference, because we really have to juice this on, guys, and I'm sure we'll almost be done. But hey, we have to talk about Miller accusing Joshua at some point that, hey, guy, how can you add an X amount of pounds? Even bodybuilders don't do that. Are you using some enhancement?
He accused Joshua, I believe, of gaining 20 pounds of muscle within a year. And
is that humanly impossible?
I don't know. Okay. I can't say for sure. And I don't even know if Miller's claim is factual. I don't know if Joshua put on 20 pounds of muscle, but in the sporting world, that's a very serious accusation to make. Very serious accusation, because that's like the worst accusation you can make in combat sports. That accusing someone of using performance-enhancing drugs. And I'm not even sure if Miller completely believes that.
Oh, he just said it.
I think exactly. I think like he's mentioning Joshua's mom. He's accusing Joshua of being on performance-enhancing drugs. I feel like he's trying to get into Joshua's head. I don't know. Yeah, because that's a very serious accusation.
It is indeed.
Yeah.
But I'm sure all this will be laid to rest in June. Of course, when we see that big fight happening in the Madison Square Garden. That's the first time. Of course, maybe the second time. Anthony Joshua, or will it be the first time?
It's the first time he's fighting outside the UK.
Fighting outside the UK.
As a professional.
Yeah. So maybe towards June we'll talk about Anthony Joshua's and Baby Miller's.
I can still make my prediction now.
Go ahead. What do you think?
I think Joshua gets him out there. Inside, let me know. Joshua gets him out. Let me not get to him. But I think, I mean, if Joshua goes in there, if it's the same Joshua we've always seen, I think Joshua gets him out there.
All right. Thank you so very much, Bola Tito.
Thank you for having me.
Always a pleasure. All right, guys, the show continues. This is HotSports. Go nowhere not. We'll be right back. We're asking this morning that after finishing 4th at the just concluded AFCON U20 Championship, the Flying Eagles, are they good enough to make a significant mark at the Poland FIFA U20 Championship happening in May? That's what we're asking this morning. So whip out your phones and text us and tell us what exactly your thoughts is. And of course, please do also follow us on our social media platforms right on your screen, and as well as www.hotsporttv.com. We'll go for a quick break, and when we return, the gentlemen are here with the thesis statement.
The Nigerian under-20 team is not going to make a significant mark in the under-20 championship in Poland as well. So I'm saying no, they can't.
Yes, definitely. I think they would do perfectly well, despite the fact they didn't, despite that they finished 4th in the under-20 tournament. But I still believe they will do well in the World Cup.
And we are live and we are here. It's time, guys. So, Israel, you go first.
Looking at the under-20 team, we've qualified 11 times. This tournament will be the 12th time we've qualified, and we've managed to finish second in 2 editions. That's in 1989 and 2005. And looking at those times, we've been doing well in age grade competition. We know Nigeria for that, from under 17 to under 20. And this time around, despite we know we also what happened in the under 20 and the United Nation Cup, that we didn't do very well. But the defense, there are some positives you can pick out of this game, out of this team. That the defense, the keeper. Those two departments, can keep those guys.
I like the fact that you just stated that we didn't do well in the last competition.
Yes, we finished 4th. So
you basically have answered my question.
You basically
answered what I said. The fact that we didn't do well in the tournament.
That doesn't mean we won't do well in the World Cup.
First of all, the reason why we didn't do well in our own is because of lack of development. You know, in the last 2 to 3 years, Nigerian football hasn't really been that good. You know, from the administrative side, you know, we've really not had plans. You've really not seen young players coming up. Even the qualification, I remember the game we had against Niger, and we won 1-0. You know, I said to myself, is Paul Agbo going to take these boys over to Poland? What is he going to change over these boys? We really didn't play well. For Nigeria to finish 4th is a bad result. It's a very bad result. Don't forget, it's a bad result. It's like Brazil finishing 4th in Copa America. Why are we going to greater success?
Don't forget that we didn't qualify for the last edition of the World Cup, and now we've gotten our tickets. Now, Paul Agbo needs to work on this team now. The attack. We've seen the keeper, we've seen the defense, and 2 of our players made the best 11. Now, Agbo just needs to just add Nation Cup. Yeah, he just needs to add, just tweak the team, add 1 or 2 or 3 players to it.
But what I'm saying is, if you look at the last 3 editions of the under-20, it's been won by European teams. Definitely. And see, it's no surprise. Imagine a team like Serbia. Who would have thought about it? Who would have predicted it? It's all comes as well to development. You know, you plan. Under 20, look at the boys running football show right now. You look at Mbappe, how old is he? You look at Vinicius of Real Madrid. You even come to England, see Rashford. You see the young players that they are bringing out in this world right now are very good. So now that's why England that won HotSports the last edition. You look at this young boy in Man City, Foden. You look at the way they play. Nigeria, we don't have any boy in our 20 like that can compete with like top 50 of the young under 20 players out there. Everybody's developing their squad.
Don't forget that we have a certain some
we have a certain yes. We do. This is his first season, and after the game against he was doing well because in the last obviously. How is Vinicius? How is Vinicius of Madrid?
Gentlemen, before we go into name callings, of course, this different player probably lose focus of this particular. But what I'm saying is, what I'm trying to say is,
you are saying
the Nigerian team. Yes, I'm trying to say what you want to say.
Okay.
The Nigerian team happened to be the most successful when it comes to age-gated competitions. And that's all that.
In the past,
don't you feel?
Yes.
So don't you feel that pedigree?
No, it doesn't.
It count for something.
It doesn't stand for anything right now because that was in the past. Because you remember the 2009 competition under 17 that they held in Nigeria that Switzerland won. Nobody predicted that final. Yes. Nobody. But look at that Switzerland team. I told somebody something. It all boils to plan. Look at the Belgian national team today that is successful. I remember after the Euro 2000, the Belgians, they said, in the next 10 years, we see ourselves among the top stars in football. And they all did it. It's planned. Nigeria, we don't plan for anything. Now we're going for another 20 other championship. After this ends, we'll just slip over and next thing start graduating other players. There's no plan. There's no plan.
I'll disagree.
This is why England.
That's what we have under 17 from under 17 to under 20.
But that's even the under 17.
The problem that look break now. We have a break because we didn't qualify for the last edition of the World Cup.
So there's a missing in that.
Yes, it's because it's lack of planning.
And that's why Poland is struggling.
I won't be surprised we get to Poland. They won't have paid our hotel fee. I won't be surprised. I'm just saying. It's not going to happen, but I won't be surprised. There's nothing that surprises. But it's what drives football.
So hold on, guys. This could be the last thing we'll talk about here. But do you feel, Israel, that these boys have enough quality in their arsenal to go all the way, or probably to do something significant in
definitely from the keeper and from the defense line, from the midfield. I think
but with this same,
they are spot on.
But this same quality of players,
you just need some striker. Just add 2 or 3 players to that foreign base player to see how we can
win the African
That's what I'm about to say.
No, the target was just to qualify.
Yes, we got to the semi-final.
Which you qualify.
Yes, I know.
Which you qualify. And we lost by penalty.
That is yes.
You've been saying this, and everyone qualified. You've been saying this.
Yes,
so there's still room for improvement for this team.
I don't see any improvement going to this because I've said it is planning. You look at the crop of players they are bringing. These are not players that the young under 20 boys you have now. Let me use it in our local PG direct. The vex. These under 20 young boys in Europe, they vex, they para. So when we are coming to look at this and say, Nigeria can do this, it's not the way it used to be in 1989 when you had Africans just go there. We're accused of always feeding on overage boys.
Yes, I agree with you.
Accused of it. I'm saying it. But now things are changing now. Everybody can easily point that, no, that's not that 20. So now it's a different game. Europe is playing. Look at the last 3 winners. They've been from Europe. Talk about France, talk about Serbia, you talk about England. Now this is shocking because it just shows you they've been planning. This is not about you go to the tournament, you win. This is you plan. You bring players, you train them for when they are 10. When they get to this stage, you see.
Okay, all right. That will be Eno's final thought, of course. Israel, it's time for your own final thought.
I think Paul Bogan has done a very good job. I think it's still a work in progress. We've seen his team, and we know where he needs to improve his team, and which is the attack. They defended very well, very, very well. I think just add 1 or 2 players to the team. I think we are good to go.
All right, so we're good to go for our final break, and when we return, it will be time for the final whistle. So this is my final whistle. I feel, and quite strongly as well, like I like to say, that everything that is good or best or better can be improved upon. I'd like to lean slightly towards Israel, who feel Paul Bogun have done a good job by marshalling these boys with the little he had and then pushing them close to the semi-finals. But the team can be improved upon, yes. But what else can be improved upon? I tell you what, it has to be the planning. The reason why we don't have any good success stories in that particular field recently is because there's not been proper planning, and that's why I'd like to lean towards more. If at all the planning is right, if at all the job are done behind the closed doors and behind, the football pitches, off the football pitches, I beg your pardon, would have a good result on the football pitch. But that's my thoughts. But what are your thoughts? Do well to send us text messages on the platform on your screen. And come next week, Saturday, I will read a couple of messages, I promise you. My name is Babajide Guerrero, and before we go on the show, I'd like to say thank you very much to Israel Bankole. How are you, man?
Yeah, thank you. Merci beaucoup.
Yeah, merci. Yeah, he said he's a lot of French, actually. You know, you don't speak any French. It's only pidgin.
Merci, Barcelona.
Merci, Barcelona. Merci beaucoup. All right, guys, go have fun. Enjoy the Carabao Cup final. I would enjoy the Super Sunday as well tomorrow. From all of us here on the production crew, we thank you very much and bye for now.